started. Hi. I don't know if you can hear me. Hopefully you can. I got a new mic and it is so nice. The quality, oh my god, shocking. Like, such a difference from those tiny little other ones. I paid like maybe double the price, so these were like $45 and it comes with two. And it comes with a case. So good. Yeah. But anyway, let's see. If you're new here, hi, I'm Leica. I'm an illustrator based in Southern California. And I wanted to talk about my experience doing my first international market with, expo, I guess, with Seoul Illustration Fair. I want to preface this with I had a great time, and this is purely informational. It's gonna be a lot of information. I wanted to make this because when I was doing research about whether I should do it or not, kind of looking into it and seeing who and what other international artists were doing when they applied and their experience. And so I hope this serves as like not a cautionary tale or anything, but hopefully gives you more insight into if you're planning to do any sort of international event. I think just in general, it's very informational. There's a lot of info, and this is specifically pertaining to Seoul Illustration Fair. I have lots of notes, so be prepared to listen to my yapping for the foreseeable, hopefully not too long. I'll try to make it short, but I don't know if you can see my laptop. I have to scroll on my notes. Just an overview. It was really fun meeting artists in Korea, in Seoul, and honestly, it was really overwhelming with the amount of people there were and artists in general, and to see so many different styles, huge variety. And people, I did ask for some advice from other artist friends who have traveled and done other events. You really cannot get a grasp of it until you actually go. And I'm really glad that I did, because it opened up a whole new world for me. Just being an artist in SoCal, I've done one out-of-state event last year in Texas, which was really fun. But there's this kind of bubble, I don't know, in SoCal in particular, that I want to kind of start to branch out and branch out to new audiences. There we go. So I thought that was really interesting, being able to see the audience in South Korea and what was popular. They have quite a few artists and illustrators. It's so saturated. There is a huge competition for illustrations and art in, I think, Asia in general. I mean, you look at Japan and there's illustrations everywhere, cute characters everywhere. Everything is cute and purposefully designed to be friendly and accessible. So getting into it, let's see. I wouldn't say these are cons, but I will say these were things to consider before jumping the gun. Yeah, let's say that. Start with high expenses. In particular, this show was $660 USD for a 4-day event plus 1-day setup. So you're there for like 5 days. Calculate that into your travel, plus the $45 bank transfer fee or whatever, wire transfer, because you can't pay any other way. That's just how they accept their payment, which was really interesting and kind of difficult, but it worked out in the end. It was fine. And I did pay an additional $11 on site because there was something about the transfer not being fully completed or something. I definitely paid. I have the receipt, and I completely forgot to bring it with me. But I guess on their end, when it reached them, it wasn't the full amount. So keep that in mind. And then I paid an additional $10 for a chair rental. And I will be putting all the expenses right over here. So totaling just the cost of the show was $726. Yes, which is quite high, but when you think of events here in the US, that amount is fairly normal for such a lengthy event, if not less than how much you would usually pay for, like, I don't know, Anime Expo or something. I still haven't done it, but it is very expensive. Yeah, so kind of similar pricing, but maybe for the Korean audience it's a lot more expensive. And I don't know if the Seoul Illustration Fair charges less for their international artists. Their local artists based in South Korea, because I don't know. There were so many booths that it's kind of hard to believe they would charge that much per person. I really don't know. A lot of these artists were smaller, smaller following, or they're starting out doing events. So I think for them, the cost would be way too high if it was the same amount that they were charging us. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure, but if there are any Korean artists that have done Seoul Illustration Fair, would you mind letting us know how much you paid for your booth? I would love to know, and I'm sure other people would love to know as well. Maybe it's more incentive for the local artists to come to the event and vend. Hotel, I paid $1,237 or $112 per night. This is USD. And we did stay for 11 nights. So that was more than the actual event time. It would have been a lot cheaper if I just stayed for the event, maybe 5 or 6 days or something like that. And if I did, it would have been $680 for 6 nights. Yeah, if I had just done the event in a travel day and left, right? And most people might do that, but I was on vacation. This was vacation for me. So I just decided to stay in the same hotel for the duration of the trip, which was really nice. Didn't have to pack up and leave every couple days. The flight, so I did bring my sister with me. I met her in Japan, and I bought both of our tickets. It was $475, around that, for 2 people from Japan to Korea. Now, if you're going from, this is based from the US. If you're coming from LAX straight to Seoul, price is gonna change. I went to Japan first, and that was a graduation gift, so I actually didn't have to pay for my ticket to Japan, which was really nice, and kind of a one-time thing for this type of event situation. If I was ever to do an international event, I would obviously pay for my own ticket, but nonetheless, I did pay for those tickets, and then if I hadn't paid for my ticket to Japan, it would have been $750. I got a really good deal. I did. I was waiting. I was hovering, waiting for the price to go down. Yeah, and then food, I would say, this is probably a little high, but I would say I spent around 50,000 won per day for 2 people. So cut that in half, maybe 25,000 won per day, if it's just you. Totaling, if it was 50,000 won per day, think of it as breakfast, coffee, snacks, lunch, dinner. You're gonna get dessert, so just might as well factor that in as well. And then, yeah, so that amount times 4 days. I guess I should technically say 5 days. It was around $143 total for food, coffee, and everything during that time of the event. Cost us here as well. Let's see, transportation. I spent around 3,000 won per day because I was paying for my sister's transportation as well. It was really cheap. It was like 1,500 won per person, like when you tap into the metro, and it's only one stop away. So yeah, that twice a day for 5 days. Okay, just kidding. I have it written down as 3,000 won per day per person. Did I do the math right on here? I have it as $22, which sounds about right if it's 5 days, but that also sounds a little high. I'm pretty sure I did the math right. If not, I'll correct it and put it here. We did Uber 2 of the days, on setup day and on the cleanup day, which is just at the end of the 4th day, which is a Sunday. Yeah, I spent about 20,000 won, which is, I didn't calculate that into USD. Well, it's less than 20 USD, which is really expensive, and I should have just taken the transportation train, but we couldn't find the elevator, and I had my luggage with my stuff in it, so we just decided to take the Uber down the street, which was fine. It was chill. And yeah, we also took the airport bus from Incheon Airport to Gangnam, and that was around 18,000 won per person, and we did that twice, so 4 times total, or 4 tickets total, and that was $52. Yeah, so that is the cost of everything, and not even factoring in like shopping and how much stationery I purchased from all these artists. I should probably, yeah, I don't even, I probably spent like around $200, if not more, on stationery and stuff at the event. It was overwhelming. Yeah, I think that's it for the expenses. Moving on, we are going to talk about some other stuff. The event is 4 days, and it's long hours. And if you don't have a helper, it's a lot. I will be honest. Thankfully, my friend and her sister were also in Korea at the time, so they came and visited us and helped me at my booth, which was really nice. And I did have my sister help me as well. We took turns walking around the convention center. But the setup day was, I think, from 2 p.m. to like 10 p.m. So you have a good amount of time to set up the day before. And then you also get time if you go early enough. I think I went at like 8 a.m. on day 1 to set up. So I was there from 8 a.m. to I think 8 p.m. The first day. Because I think the event ended at 8 p.m. I'll correct the hours if it's not, but it was a lot. And especially the first day, it was very overwhelming. There's so much to look at. First of all, I'll put the, I feel like I have it in here, but I'll put the layout here and the total amount of artists that were attending as vendors. They had, like any expo, they have like company booths and those types of really large booths on one end, and then on the rest is like just artists for the entire span of the space. We did get like a, how big was our booth space? I think it was around like 4x6, I want to say 4x5 feet, and we got like a little table. And then yeah, we were finishing setting up, and then I think I was just really, I was tired, but I was most of all just overwhelmed with the amount of people, art, and it was a little discouraging not getting too many sales, which was fine. It was fine. But yeah, I did, I think, go in thinking I would at least make back my table. And I'm going to tell you right now, I did not make back my table. Considering how much I spent to be there, I didn't make back anything really. Keep that in mind. I don't know the factors. It's really hard to say. I think just the nature of these large events is people are overwhelmed. They're not gonna intentionally walk through every aisle and take their time at every single booth. They're gonna go to the people they came for, right? Continuing with that, it's a very competitive market for illustrations. I think they did advertise that they had around 1,000 vendors. I don't know exactly how many, but that's what they advertised. And then I mean, there were so many different styles, the volume of work from these artists. It felt like, you know, a fishy in the ocean. I felt like a fish in the ocean. Whereas here, I feel like a fish in a giant lake or something. You know, it's not as crazy. It's an oversaturation for sure. And I can see why people would be more picky about what they like because there's just so much. I did get to meet a lot of artists that I had followed previously already, or new artists that I really enjoyed seeing their work, and that was really cool. Just overall, really interesting experience. Yeah, but that being said, I did have to adjust my pricing for the products I was selling and what I brought. To me personally, compared to what I bring to the events here, I feel like I brought a very small fraction, but apparently I didn't, and I definitely brought way too many items. And by that, I don't even think I brought that much. It's just that I didn't sell anything, so I still had to bring everything back, which is fine. I did do some trades with other artists, which was fun. But yeah, so I had to adjust my pricing to match the currency and prices that are common in Korea, which is a lot less. Like a lot less. Like I sell my sticker sheets here for $5, which sounds like a lot, but when you factor in like cost, shipping, design, all that stuff, for here, for the US, it makes sense, right? But for Asia, they have their manufacturers there, like very locally, and so they're able to price their products so much cheaper. Like I mean, what was the conversion? Well, let's just say their sticker sheets were around like 1,500 won, which is like $1. Yeah, I still would have made a profit off of the products that I brought, but I was selling them close to wholesale pricing. And adding to this, Korea is very advanced in that they don't really carry cash anymore. Like maybe 20% of the people carry cash, which is not a lot. And being an international artist, there was not really any options for us to take payments any other way for it to make sense. I think the fair did offer like a device to take card payments. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I just didn't know about it or if I just told myself like, it's fine. But yeah, I think they might have. I feel like I heard it somewhere or somebody told me. I'm not entirely sure. So I was taking cash the whole time, and most people would come and they would be interested, but they couldn't buy it because they didn't have cash. And the only ATM was like downstairs, all the way in the corner at the bank, which was like in total probably a good like 5-10 minute walk for them to leave the expo center and come back. So I don't blame them. There was 2 girls who did do that, and they came back, and it was so sweet. I just gifted them a bunch of my stuff because I'm trying to get rid of it. I didn't want to come back with anything. And I did have somebody pay with, maybe like 1 or 2 people pay with PayPal. But PayPal is also not very common in Korea, apparently. Even though it's like an international payment method, right? Most countries take PayPal, right? So I thought that might be possible. No, not really. On the 4th day, though, I did figure out that Stripe app, I could take tap payments, like maybe half the time. I took a couple payments through Stripe. Yeah, I wish I had known that sooner, because then I could have tried it with more people. So yeah, consider that if you don't want to take what is offered by Seoul Illustration Fair, if they offer it. I honestly don't know. Yeah, honestly, I think that's it for pricing and payments. I did price my stickers. Yeah, like I said, like wholesale pricing. I think I priced them at like 2,500 won, which is less than wholesale pricing for me. 2,500, 3,000 won, which is around $2.15, something like that. Yeah, so less than wholesale. I still brought it back, so I'll still sell it here. But yeah, so that's how much I had to sell it in Korea to kind of match the prices there. I think most of the international artists did change their pricing to match Korea, but all of the international artists, I think, were still a little more costly than the local artists, who were able to make it a lot less. Interesting to learn about the market, though, like just in general, what sells, what people are interested in, things like that, right? Moving on, let's talk about booth placement. So imagine, right? 1,000 vendors, give or take. I think I was pretty fortunate in where I was placed, but at the same time, I don't think it really matters where you're placed. Let me rephrase that. It does matter where you're placed, but at the same time, it's so large, it almost doesn't really matter. But anyway, so given the structure of the event space, right? We have the companies on this side. We have the bigger artist booths kind of next to them. They definitely pay more for their spot because it's a larger space that they're renting. And then as you come to the left, all of the booth spaces are a lot smaller, and they're booths like mine, right? And then along the edge is larger booths, I think on maybe this side on the very end. So yeah, I was kind of weird, like not in the middle. I was in the G row, and I actually wasn't with the US artists, which was like a surprise to me when I got there, because each booth has a not a flag. Yes, there is like a little flag printed where you're like where you're from, like your country. But it's like a little sign that sticks out from your booth with your shop name, your booth number, and then the flag or country that you're from, right? I was placed with Japan. I'm not offended or anything. And I just thought it was kind of funny that I was placed in Japan, because I don't think I said I was from Japan or anything. I'm pretty sure I said I was from the US. But I guess maybe they asked. I'm half Japanese, and I do speak Japanese, I don't know how they came to the conclusion to put me there. Maybe they saw my products and my I don't know. I don't know the reasoning. I really don't. But yeah, so I was placed in that row with a couple other Japanese artists that I'm so glad to have met. Thankfully, it wasn't like all the international artists in one giant row, because I don't know if they've done that before. From what I heard, they did do that before, and it was not good because people didn't know about the international artists, and I think it might benefit the fair and the artists if they did advertise a little bit more about the international artists visiting. The flow of traffic was they planned out which entrances they would use each day, so I think they staggered it with using the far right entrance one day and then this entrance the next day. And they kind of staggered it like that. And I was like right where the entrance was. Like you go straight down and that's where I am, which did help on day 2. I feel like a lot more people walked down our aisle, but I don't know if it like really helped because most people just went directly to the artists that they came for. Again, it's a super overwhelming event with the amount of artists. So I don't blame anybody for just like bolting to their destination and then leaving. If you're there all day or if you're there for multiple days, it's cool to see the different artists that do come. And I think it's because the styles, people know what they like in Asia. Very used to the styles that are developed there. Not to say that the international artists don't meet that style, it's just not to their taste, I guess. I don't really know, I can't really explain. I don't live there, but that's how it feels. And I mean, for us being based in the US, I think we do cater our styles to our audiences here, which is totally fine. And our personal style gets developed around that, right? That's just a thought. So yeah, I don't think the booth placement really matters in that way. It's just the nature of such a large expo. I mean, can you even fathom 1,000 artists all in one place? I mean, oh my god. Yeah. A lot of their booths were so pretty though. Oh my gosh. Did I take any pictures? If I took any pictures, I'll put them here, but oh my god, their booths were like gorgeous, and I wanted to, it's definitely an inspiration for me to up my game when it comes to displays. I did print out some decal, like a giant decal for mine. They give you walls, which is so cool, but honestly, so different, and I had no idea what to do with it. But I think next time I would definitely print out a larger one to like wrap the wall because it catches more attention. Yeah, I think I had heard from another Korean artist who was doing it for the second or third time. She said she had been placed closer to the company booths previously, like further. They put them in like A through Z or whatever. I don't even think they go all the way to Z, but yeah, like in alphabetical rows. And she was closer to the company booths. And then this time she got pushed out a little bit more. And so she said it was slower, not as good as the previous time. So yeah, if you are to be placed somewhere, I would say being closer to that side is probably better. But ultimately, it would probably be better if they just figured out a different way to lay out the event to benefit most and all artists. It's hard to do that though with so many. I feel like I'm just rambling, but hopefully this is helpful. A lot of artists did offer a freebie event. I did too, because I needed to get rid of some stuff. And of course the stuff that I was getting rid of literally weighs like almost nothing, so it doesn't even matter. Yeah, so this freebie event is like, follow me on Instagram and you'll get a sticker or postcard or something like that. So a lot of artists did that. And I think that did help with like getting a following. I don't know how much of it will stick, but I did reach some new people, which is nice. I'm not really sure if anybody like unfollowed right away. It doesn't matter, I don't care. But yeah, so kind of like a little, they call it event, freebie event, where you follow and you get a freebie. We're getting to the end of the just so you know portion. I forgot about the weight of my luggage. So calculating that into the expenses, right? Going from Japan to Korea, I had to put some of my stuff in my sister's suitcase because it was too heavy. I made the mistake of bringing notepads. Do not bring notepads. Do not bring notepads. Don't bring notepads. They are way too heavy, too bulky, and did not sell like at all. Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. Yeah, it was heavy. And of course, I was shopping on my day, like, you know, after the event and thinking, not really thinking about having to still account for that weight. So I did have to pay for oversized luggage twice, once to Korea and then once to Japan on the way back. Thankfully, I didn't have to do that going back to the US because the weight allowance is a lot higher. I did pay for a cheap airline from Japan to Korea, so let's say it was factored into the ticket or whatever. I think I did pay, how much did I pay? I probably paid like at least $100 total. At least. It was probably a little bit more. But yeah, so that sort of ends my info session there. Not really cons, but kind of things to consider. Hello. What do you need? Tea break. We got Noodle Street yesterday and they sell tea. This is the peach black tea. Yeah, I've been yapping for the past like almost hour. Not that this video will be an hour long. I hope not. Oh my gosh, that's so long. But if you're down to stay around, sure. So I was just getting to the point where I was losing hope in making anything back, and that was probably around day 1, day 2, and I just wanted to give away everything I had brought to sell because I didn't want to bring it home. And all of this is sounding not great, and it's not, but it's fine. Kind of scared to see the total cost because I still haven't like added all of this up yet. I just kind of did it individually. Yeah, but anyway, so I guess some pros and takeaways that I got from this experience would be I feel very inspired, or I felt very inspired after seeing so many artists and talking to them, and it made me realize that you can literally do anything, draw anything. And I think a lot of the times we kind of, I don't know if other people do this too, but I feel like I do. I feel like it's hard to figure out themes or concepts sometimes when we do want to be seen by a lot of people, so we try to generalize and kind of go with what's popular. And I want to try to get out of that too. But it's hard. It's hard. It's going to take some brainstorming and planning. But it's possible. And I mean, we see it everywhere. The stuff that does well is the stuff that is usually not too common, or it just falls right in between. Yeah, but the products that were popular were sticker sheets, sticker rolls. A lot of people had washi tape, but their washi tape was so expensive. Oh my god. They priced their washi tape high compared to their other products, so it was really interesting. Let me think. What else did I have? Postcards. Oh, and they also quite commonly sold lens cloths. Maybe not super common, but common enough that I was like, oh, that's really interesting. I didn't realize that that was popular. So something to consider. I'm trying to think what else. Those like little PVC keychains, the little puffy ones. Those were popular, pretty popular. They had a lot of little blind bag stickers for like $1. Really popular. So yeah, cool to see all of the kind of doing market research, I guess you could say, with the Korean audience. Yeah. And I did meet, like I said, artists and followers, which was really nice. It was really nice to meet some followers who were either visiting Korea or living in Korea and came to say hi. So I'm really grateful. It was so sweet. It did brighten my day and make my whole event, honestly. It was worth it. Yeah, and all the artists I had met and made friends with, I'm so glad to have those connections now. It was just really nice to meet them, and I enjoyed it a lot. I feel like it was just a big socializing event for me. It was not too difficult to communicate because most people did kind of understand English, and I do understand just a little bit of Korean, but it's not very good. It's not. Yeah, so still fun though. Still cool. It was a great learning experience. When we don't want to say it was not successful, but it was a great learning experience, I will say. Financially, not successful at all, like at all. But I learned a lot, and I came back with a new understanding of, wow, the art world is so vast, so big. And I, freshly graduating college this past May. It just, oh my gosh, the world is huge, and it's like there's just so much out there that we kind of forget about when we stay in our own bubble, especially in college when the only art bubble is your classmates. And yeah, so I really am so glad that I went and experienced this. Yeah, I learned how to travel with my products because I think when I went to Texas, I did bring a good amount, but I could have brought more. I was surprised. I don't think I ever talked about my experience spending in Texas, but I loved it and I would go back in a heartbeat. Granted, I have time, not right now, but in the future. I think I know now how to gauge the amount to bring now and what to bring and what makes sense to bring with me to sell, because notepads makes no sense. Don't do it unless it's like a stationery fest or something, like in the States. I probably would. International, no, I don't think I would. It's too expensive to bring because of the weight and how much space it takes up. So yeah. And I did, for the first time, make vinyl decals. So that was fun. I got to try something new for a booth setup. Oh, and I didn't factor in another cost. I did have to end up buying some display stuff from Daiso. It wasn't expensive. I think I spent like total maybe, oh, actually I did spend a little bit. Okay. Anyways, I'll put it here. I bought some stuff from Daiso and Muji for my booth display. I probably spent around 30 USD. I did return something to Muji after I was done using it because it was just sitting on the table and I didn't peel the sticker off. So that was fine. And then, yeah, I did give away quite a few displays to an artist there. I don't know, I think she was fairly new to vending, but her booth was so cute. She was like directly across from me, and it was so nice to talk to her. And I really regret not getting one of her ceramic pieces, but oh my god, my suitcase. Yeah, but I gave her some of my displays that I had gotten from Daiso, so I hope she uses them well. And I'm so thankful that she took them, because they probably just would have ended up as trash, or I just probably would have left it on the side somewhere for somebody to take and reuse it. Yeah, let's see. I think I have some need to know for attendees. If you're planning to attend, if you have never gone and don't know the system, hopefully this helps a little bit. First of all, ticketing is kind of weird. I think it's really difficult for people to get tickets if you're international and you don't have a Korean phone number. With most things, right? Maybe if you have a SIM or something, it might help, but from what I've heard from other people, it's quite difficult to get a ticket. Thankfully, I was given an allotted amount of tickets to give away to like followers, so I did give all of those away, which was great, and I'm so glad I could do that for some of you. I think I was able to send it to some emails, and then yeah, there was something weird. I had to like share the link. It was odd because some people didn't get the link, and so I had to send them the link directly instead of the system sending them the registration, whatever. Yeah, so just FYI, please bring cash. Please. Please, please, please. I think everybody appreciates getting paid with cash. At these events, it might be easier for the local artists to take card, and they're probably just assuming people will pay with card because that's just how they take payments. Everywhere. Barely anybody takes cash anymore. At least in Seoul, where I was. I was like in Gangnam, that area. We were in the COEX center. Yeah, so please bring cash. I think most people will be appreciative of cash, especially the international artists, and I would highly consider supporting them, considering they traveled so far to be there. Yeah, me included. And I'm so thankful for the people who did come by and support me. And I would also consider doing multiple days. I don't think the tickets are actually that expensive. I think they're around like 11,000 won, which is like 8 or 9 USD, I think. If that's right. And then I think they did have it discounted if you purchased early enough. I'm not sure. But yes, so consider doing maybe 2 days so you don't get so overwhelmed. I'm glad I was a vendor and was able to just kind of chill out the rest of the time. I will say it was kind of boring for the most of it, sitting at my booth, because it was so slow sales wise. There was not much happening. So yeah, I know some artists just left their booth completely, which I mean, I wasn't there, but my sister was there, and I know she was bored, but thankfully my friend and her sister were also there, so we were kind of going off and on together, just bouncing around. Yeah, so I would consider doing multiple days. When you enter that convention, you're not ready for the amount of stuff you're gonna see visually. I mean, oh my gosh, it was actually freezing in there though. I know sometimes it was like it depends on like time of year, but thankfully, I mean, it was summer, but it was freezing in there, and I would rather it be cold than sweating. So yeah, I think that's really all I have to say in terms of like the need to know and what I got from it, but let's do an overview. This is my reflection over the whole event, things I would have done differently, things I liked and disliked, Yeah. So, like I said, I honestly treated it like a vacation and not an event to make profits because it was not profitable. And I don't know how many people, I think maybe for international artists in the Asian continent might benefit more in terms of cost, like flight and everything is probably cheaper for them. Should I have the means to do an event like that again, it'd probably just be for fun. And I may try doing it again in the future if I was already planning a trip to go visit and if I have the funds. So, yeah. Don't bring as much product and packaging as you think you might need. Bring less. Bring so much less. Don't think of it in terms of like, oh, I just need to sell this many each day type of deal. Bring less than that because you don't know. I also forgot to mention that I brought my paper bag packaging. Those were extremely heavy as well. Those took up like half my suitcase. And to me, it felt like I didn't bring that many, but I brought a lot. Yeah, I brought a lot. Just because there's the volume of people it doesn't equate to sales. So keep that in mind. Yeah, I would say stick to like glassine bags or like the thin paper craft bags, like the white ones, if you know what I'm talking about, not like sandwich bags or anything, but semi-transparent. They're just so thin you can kind of see through them. Those white bags. Rent a card reader or use Stripe. Or even better, if you have a Korean bank account, I think you might be able to take payments somehow. Not sure, but helpful if you have it. I did advertise. I pushed my post on Instagram. I did pay for it though. So, yeah, but that did reach more people in Korea and like the surrounding. I think I put like Japan and other countries too, because you can just put, if you've run an ad on Instagram, but if you haven't, you can customize where your ad reaches to your audience. And doing that, I think, helped a lot in getting me seen. But I think I would do that much more in advance next time. And now that I do have somewhat of an audience there, I think it would still be even more helpful for me next time. Whereas I was going there for the first time with like almost zero audience in Korea. So yeah, I think it would be very helpful if you are planning to do an international trip for your event. Push an ad or push your post to be seen by that country audience. I think that's very helpful so that people know of you before you get there. And I'd say do it as early as you can. Maybe stagger it. Maybe do it for a month or like 2 weeks this month and then 2 weeks another month and then maybe another week another month or something, just to get your stuff out there. Yeah, so I recommend doing that. I would order larger wall decals, like I said, to take up more space and attract more people. I think that would just look better in general, because they give you you're just in this little cubicle, white cubicle walls, and then they do give you overhead lights, which is really nice. So it is well lit in there. Yeah, all this to say, I do hope I get invited back, should I apply again and go. I did have a great time, despite everything. I was a little defeated, I'm not gonna lie. I was a little defeated at the end and during the event, but I still enjoyed it. And considering all of this, I know how to plan better now, and I'm thankful for that. So yeah, but if there's anything else you would like to know that I didn't cover that you're kind of curious about, leave a comment. And I hope this information was helpful. I know this was a very lengthy video, and I hope I wasn't boring you with yapping about all these things, but I did want to put it out there because I came across like zero information when I was first searching. So yeah, hope this is helpful. If you liked it, please leave a like and subscribe. And I will hopefully be back with more stuff for you. Until next time, thanks for being here, and see you again soon. I can't talk anymore. I've been talking for way too long. It's been like a good hour and a half. I'm gonna go take a break now. Bye.